Lagos is known for its noise, its skyscrapers, and its relentless pace. But if you travel west, past the traffic and the concrete, you find a town where time moves differently. This is Badagry. To the casual visitor, it's a peaceful coastal town, but beneath the palms and the saltwater breeze lies a story that changed the world forever. Today, we are walking through the corridors of history, from the first walls ever built toward the sky in Nigeria to the final path walked by millions who never returned. I will be honest, standing here, I realized how little I actually knew about this history. To get the real story, I teamed up with a local guide, a true son of the soil, to help me uncover the secrets hidden within these walls.
So I'm Oluwatosin by name. So I welcome you. Here we'll be hearing more about transatlantic slavery and more about the missionaries' impact in Badagry. So you're welcome once again.
Alright, so guys, let's go and see what's going on here.
Our journey begins here at the first story building in Nigeria, where you get to see the last remaining wooden chair from the 1878 and the first translated Bible in Nigeria. This isn't just a house, it's a monument to the intersection of faith and colonialism.
It's actually the first mission house in Nigeria. So it's a history that knows that this is also the first studio in Nigeria. So this house was constructed by the CMS missionary Badagry on the 17th of September 1842. And the house was built by a man called Reverend Charles in 1843 to 1842.
A man called, sorry?
Reverend Charles had the gold. But in 1842, when this house was first erected into woods, it was constructed by a man called Reverend Henry Townsend. So the house is currently 180 years. It has 6 bedrooms, 2 living rooms, and 4 storerooms. So going into 2 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, 2 living rooms and 4 bedrooms. So this is one of the where we have the
This living room. Wow.
So we have the name of the person who was in charge of the construction of this house, Reverend Charles and the builder. That's the name of the builder.
He built it by himself or?
He put our works with him.
That's crazy. This is a picture of the
building, yeah. When they first completed the structure, the house in 1855.
That's crazy.
So the Agia Tree here, this tree used to be in the midst of the market called the Jubilee Market in Badagry. But the market is now called the Badagry Market now. That's not in this place again. So under this tree was representative was first put here because they could not find a lot of people gathering aside from the market square as at that time. And this tree used to be in the midst of the market. So Reverend Thomas Betryman, who was a Methodist priest, was the one that first pushed Christianity in September 24th, 1842. And Reverend Henry Townsend preached Christmas service in December 1842. he was from the Anglican Church of England.
I'm listening.
So the tree fell on the 28th of June 1959.
It fell.
Yeah.
Was it from black or?
Fell due to storm.
Okay.
So after the falling of the tree, they built this monument in replacement of the tree.
Okay.
And they called the monument the Agia Tree monument because the tree used to be the Agia Tree. So at the meaning of Agia, this word Agia is in Hebrew. And the meaning of Agia is holy.
Holy.
So
That is it.
The Agia tree was once a giant that reached for the heavens. Imagine a tree so massive, 160 feet tall, that its branches felt like a roof for the entire town. For over 300 years, it stood as the silent garden of Badagry.
So this was not the first Christmas in Nigeria. I told you the first Christmas was first preached in December 25th, 1843. But this was the first photograph of Christmas, 1923. Yes, in Badagry.
It was a quite humble beginning, but that single morning under a tree in Badagry started a tradition that now lights up every corner of Nigeria every December. When you look at these monuments today, you are not just looking at the stone, you are looking at the spot where the spirit of Christmas first found a home in our land.
So this is the room of a man called Gberefu.
The graphs.
Yeah, and the Gberefu was the one that found the school that used to be in this compound in 1842.
School.
Yes, if we're talking about the school compound as a whole, it had about 15 structures in it, and it was way bigger than this as a day.
So why is it not?
When the government decided to take part of it, that was this of the side that you see on the structures.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's no more part of the building, but then it was part of this compound. So we have school, we have the schoolmaster's house, we have the boarding house. Don't worry, I'll show you the map of the compound. So these are the materials used for the construction of this house. Then we have the burnt brick that was used for the walls and the floors of this house. The inches that was used for
What is this?
the inches.
Okay.
And this is an African treated wood.
African.
Use treated wood
Wow.
that was used for the deck, the doors, and the windows of this house. And this is iron corridor.
Oh my God, this is strong.
Looking closely at the materials, those iron sheets and nails were imported all the way from England over 180 years ago.
The last room here, the third room here, is the room of a man called Claudius Phillips.
Okay.
Mr. Claudius Phillips was the first Western teacher in Nigeria that taught 40 men on 2 subjects for 12 years. He was the teacher of 40 men from 1845 to 1868. He taught them on English language and CRK.
Now it's
Christian religion.
Okay.
The reason why they brought in the Western education was because when the missionary arrived, the only person that could speak Yoruba and also their language was Bishop Samuel Ajayi Father. And they really want to interpret, like they want to preach the gospel to them. How will they interact? So language was a little bit the barrier there. So they had to call a teacher in to teach them English. So that's why Claudius Phillips was called in 1845. So he taught them for 12 years. For 6 years, he taught them on English language. And Christian religious knowledge, meaning talking about the Bible, the church, and Christianity. So that was why he added that to it.
Mr. Ajayi Crowther established the first primary school in the country, believing that the gospel and the chalkboard go hand in hand. From a boy in chains to a doctor of language from Oxford University, Ajayi Crowther proved that education is the ultimate key to breaking any shackle.
So this is Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther's room, where he completed the translation of the English Bible to Yoruba. I know very well you are here the story.
Yeah.
So this is
the Bible.
Yeah, this is
First translated.
Translated in the Bible from the word 180 years. And this is the first English Bible in Nigeria. It was brought back by Reverend Helen Johnson 182 years. So this is Bishop Samuel.
Mr. Agia Tree believed that for a person to be truly free, they had to be able to read and write in their own tongue. Right here in this building, he sat for hours translating the English Bible into Yoruba. It wasn't just a religious book, it was the very first piece of literature written in the Yoruba language. He was literally teaching people how to read their own identity.
The last room here, we are standing on a rule of 183 years. The last surviving furniture of this house, the chair is 146 years. And this is the church that used to be in this compound in 1843. We have the first story building under 1845 when it was first completed. Then, and this is the early missionary cemetery. That was where they buried some of the missionaries that died here in 1845.
Yeah.
It's just around this road down there.
Alright.
Yeah. And the last thing we have here is this safe.
Just a few steps away, we'll find where they kept their most precious earthly treasures. You could call this Nigeria's very first ATM, although the withdrawals took a lot more work back then.
Old currencies pence in African then. This was the first currency, cowrie, and this was the second currency, Manila. Because all the mixed use of this.
So this is what we actually used for money trading. For trading. That's crazy. Then for this new pens. That's crazy. Right.
So going down now, we're going to the well.
Okay.
This way.
As we step outside into the courtyard, we are heading towards something that looks quite ordinary, but in Badagry, it is legendary. This is the first well in Nigeria, dug way back in 1842. This water has never for once run dry. The locals call it the miracle well.
Right.
Sure. Sorry. Okay. The well has never run dry, neither has it changed colors. But the majority of the people living in this community, the wells have like 10 and 7
Water. As I then, now.
Just because Badagry wells has colorless smells and taste, but this has always remained colorless, odorless, and tasteless water.
Okay,
They call it miracle water because the thing is cheap.
As we take a short walk away, the atmosphere shifts. We enter the Mobee Family Relics Museum and the Seriki Williams Abbas Barracoons. Yeah, the history isn't written in books, it is forged in iron. In this room, human lives were priced like commodities. Would you believe that a single colorful umbrella was once worth 40 human beings, or that a bottle of gin could buy 10?
So you're welcome to the Mobee Museum. This is where we have the original chains and shackles used during the period of slavery. These chains are over 500 years because slavery lasted here in Badagry for about 350 to 400 years. This man right here, his father was a middleman between the whites and the blacks. So anytime the whites come around to buy slave, his father would offer them cola nuts, telling them in the local dialect, my white friend, eat cola nuts and eat. He says this to them every time they come around, but because they could not understand his language, they could only pick out the word Mobee. So over time, they started calling him Mr. Mobee, Mr. Mobee, Mr. Mobee. Mobee is now a chieftaincy title here in Badagry, and the family decided to adopt Mobee as their family son. So back to Maberiche, which is the son. He did not like the trade his father was doing. He revolted against his father and the Europeans in the year 1852 and officially stopped slavery in Badagry. In that same year, he was also one of the chiefs who signed the treaty of abolishment of slavery. After all this, he noticed the Europeans were still around and they were taking slaves illegally out of Africa. So he fought against them back in the year 1888 and successfully stopped slavery in Badagry. So this year are some of the changes he seized during that period. Yes, you will. This year is called the network. Slaves were meant to peace around their neck for 18 hours every day.
Yeah, this is so easy.
People are traveling. Traveling takes about 3 to 4 months.
This what they tried
Yes.
how long?
About 3 to 4 months.
Jesus.
Every day for 18 hours.
Damn.
This year is called an antelope, and this was used for slaves that worked in the farm.
Okay.
For them not to your this leg.
Okay.
For them not to try to escape, it is leg of corn, leg of chicken. If I not this together and make them work together with the same
Can you imagine?
Now try walking.
Oh my. You need it seriously.
This year is a torture weapon. After catching runaway slaves, it forces them to their arrest. You see, most times this will not go. So they break the bones here. They force them to this level, make them stand on the platform. It's
You don't want to get stuck.
force down to this level, make them stand on the platform. Then they take this part and screw it. Remove what they're standing on and make the entire weight fall on one arm. During that process, slaves tend to lose the ability to function with their arms properly. At times they even lose their legs. This here is called slave grinding iron, and this was used to write names of slaves. This year, so that time slaves do not bear name. They only bear the name of their masters, or the name their masters wish to give to them. So for instance, if the master bears, what was your name again?
Click.
Kate.
Click.
Click.
Yeah.
If the master bears click,
Yeah.
they put this in fire. And when it's very hot, they'll use this to right click on the body of the slaves.
Slaves. Oh.
Yes, for males on the chest and for females at the back. Then they also use this to perforate the upper and the lower lips of the slave. They put this in, this is called the mouth clip. They put this, draw the perforated lips out, then they can look like this. That is to ensure that slaves will not communicate between themselves or eat out of the farm products they were supposed to plant. This here is the money spent then in Africa. This is known as cowries. The white did not recognize this as money, and that was what brought about trade by barter. They take 10 slaves for a bottle of gin, 40 slaves for the small cannon gun, and 100 slaves for the medium cannon gun. You understand why I should come?
What was this for?
This was used for fighting war.
So like this now they use this to trade and buy things.
Yes.
This is an coincidence.
This here is called the slave drinking pot, and this was used to give slaves water to drink. 40 to 50 slaves were meant to go around the pot and then bend down to
40 to 50 slaves.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
While struggling for water first, the sharp edge of the pot.
Inside the barrack rooms, 40 people are packed into tiny dark rooms with only a single hole for air. It's a sobering sight that reminds us why the residents who spoke to feel such a deep connection to this land. For them, these aren't just artifacts, they are family of survival.
So we are at the point of view.
Yeah.
See what this place has to offer.
So let's see what it looks like.
understand Badagry, you must cross the water. A boat ride across the lagoon leads us to Gberefu Island. This is the point of no return.
This place is now.
I find a moment of pure hospitality. Some locals invited us to share a cup of freshly tapped palm wine. I'll be honest, it's been years since I've tasted white gold this fresh.
Oh God. Tell come about.
Along the path to the ocean, I discovered extraordinary local artisans who turn coconut shells into beautiful lamps, bags, and jewelries. The 15-minute walk along the sandy path is beautiful, but centuries ago it was a path of despair. Look out for the spirit well. Legend says the captors forced slaves to drink from it to make them forget their homes and their name before they reach the ships.
So this was the place they took our ancestors from, out of Africa. Can you imagine?
So any slaves that trade down to this point then, so it's already moved out of Africa.
There's always a boat waiting here for them, right?
Yes. So during slavery period, so there are different barracks built here in this place. So during slavery period, they built different barracks on this side. There are this side, this side. In year 1852. So to record of March, there are treaty signed between Badagry and that slavery should be finally abolished from Badagry. So there are 9 articles and articles number 5 stating that all the implement that comes from the slavery should be finally destroyed. That's when the barracks here is put down, machines for trade side machines and they cannot be repaired. So at the short end, so to wipe away the evidence of slavery from Badagry. But illegally since 1888 to since 1852 to 1888. So the trade started coming up underground until it was finally abolished. So any slave trekking down to this point then, so the Europeans and the Portuguese masters were both flag at the front of their barracks. So when the ship landed, they cut the slave out and marched them. So down to this place, because the ship cannot come to the shore here. So because
As we come to the end of our journey, I realize that history isn't just what we leave behind. It is the strength we carry forward. At the edge of the Atlantic, the point of no return has become a place of remembrance and pride. Badagry is more than a museum. It is the heartbeat of our survival.